Olá pessoal, ready to get started for today's live lesson. If you can hear me and see me and all that good stuff, just type yes in the chat box. I can see I've already got lots of you here already. We've got someone from Cartagena, someone in India, someone in Florida. That's the first time I've had someone from Florida. Lovely to have you, Gary. Gillian, hi. Melissa, Harry, Vinod. Lovely to see you all. So, as you might have seen, this is going to be the last YouTube live I do in this particular series. I can't believe how quickly 6 weeks has gone by, but it's definitely made lockdown a bit more bearable for me. I hope it's done the same for you. And yeah, we're going to carry on with our theme of helping you improve your pronunciation, helping you avoid some kind of common mistakes. And yeah, we'll take it from there. So if you're new here, hello, welcome, bem-vindo, olá. My name is Liz and I'm a Portuguese teacher here in Lisbon. And I specifically help expats moving to Portugal or people who have a connection with Portugal to get more confident and conversational in Portuguese. So as we all know, there's not so much around on the internet and on YouTube and everywhere else to help you learn, particularly European Portuguese. So that's what I'm here to help with. And yeah, I'm really excited to dive in again today and help you with a bunch of tips. So we'll start as usual with pronunciation. And I actually just finished a lesson with somebody who was struggling with a couple of things, so I wanted to start with those. Got my trusty whiteboard here. Let me just move this so you can see everything well. So, what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about vowel pairs. Okay, so when two vowels go together, they form quite a different sound. Okay, and the two I want to look at today are A and ew. Okay, because these are two sounds that people struggle with quite a lot. So when you're aiming to kind of say these, I want you to think of the fact that they are two sounds that we're moving from one to the other, okay? So here we want followed by e. So when we put that together, it's going to sound like this. A. That's quite exaggerated, but I just want you to get the idea. So we go from to e, okay? Now that's quite easy when you have a short word like say, yeah, which is I know. But sometimes when this comes in the middle of words, people start to get a bit confused, okay? And don't do this pronunciation quite as well as they should. So, when it comes at the end, easier to do. But what about if it's in the middle of a word, like solteiro, okay? So because it's here, people sort of forget it and go soltero or soltero, no. Solteiro. I want to hear that a, yeah? Solteiro, which means single. This word comes up, this sound comes up again, also in the word areia. So can you hear that this here, this vowel pair A, is what's going to make your Portuguese pronunciation sound much better, okay? Areia. Good. I hope that's much clearer. As we're going through, if things make sense, drop a comment in the chat box to say, yes, this makes sense, or no, I need more help with that, and I'll try and explain it a bit better. Okay, So that is A, nice and straightforward. What about this other one? Ew, ew. So again, we're sliding from one into the other. So we've got ooh, ooh, ew, ew. Okay, so this gets people really confused when we're learning the personal pronoun for I, which is ew, literally just this word. So people are a bit like, oh, ew, 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 like how do I say this? And that's how we say ew, ew. Okay, so we're going to need this for important words like meu, meu, my, if the thing you're talking about is masculine, or we might need it for the word adeus, adeus, okay? So again, it's when it comes in the middle of a word that people get confused and panic and forget all of the pronunciation training that they've been doing. But I want you to really watch out when you see these tricky vowel pairs in the middle of a word to not forget, okay? So this is adeus, yeah? Adeus. Perfect. So there is your first tip from today to improve your pronunciation and help keep making it better and better. Because one of the things that people say to me all the time is, I've been using Duolingo to learn and I've just realised it's all Brazilian Portuguese and it's not really helping me. So hopefully that was helpful. And I forgot to mention as well, I am making 2 announcements on this YouTube live about exciting ways of studying with me online, so make sure that you stay tuned for those. Yes. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to mention is people getting confused. Another very common mistake, getting confused between these 2 words, okay? This is mau, mau, and this is mau, mau, okay? So they're very similar, they're both negative things. And this is particularly cheeky and gets people confused, especially if they know Spanish and they've spoken Spanish before. This is what actually I'm going to do a video on this in a couple of weeks' time about how to, if you already know Spanish, how to make some important changes when you're switching to Portuguese. And this is one of them. People use mal in the wrong place. Okay, so let's talk about why that is and how we can avoid it. So what we need to remember is mal is an adjective. Okay. It's a describing word. So, this in English is equal to the word bad. Okay? Bad. Mal, however, mal is what we call an adverb. And that is when we are describing the way that something is being done. Okay? And therefore, in English, the translation for mal would be badly. Badly. Okay? So you can already see how in English you wouldn't confuse these 2 because they are used in different situations, right? So I want you to remember that mal means bad, that mal means badly. Okay? So let's give you a couple of examples of when you would use those in the correct place. So first of all, for example, o tempo está mau. O tempo está mau. I didn't really write that very well. Let me do it again. Make it clear that it's an A and then a U. A, U, okay? O tempo está mau. So this is an adjective here that I'm using to describe the weather. The weather is bad, okay? bad, and this is an adjective describing the weather. Okay. However, what would be different would be to say está mal feito. Okay, so maybe I'm talking about some work or a dress that somebody's made, and I want to say it's done badly. Badly, okay? That would be when I would use the word mal. Okay, so está mal feito. It is badly done. Okay, so they are not the same. But we can use the word mal. It crops up in other circumstances, which you might have seen before. Let me know if you've seen this before. And I'm going to give you some good ways to remember it. You will use this if you say, I can't wait. That's one time where we would use the word mal in a bit of a different scenario. So, lots of people say, actually, não posso esperar. Because that literally means, I can't wait. But that's not how we say this phrase. That's another common mistake. We say mal posso esperar. Mal posso esperar. Okay, so that is another circumstance where you would use this word mal, but it's in a different context to being an adverb. Okay, so mal posso esperar. I can't wait. And a good way to remember this is to think of that Lion King song when he says, I just can't wait to be king. So in Portuguese, that translates to this, mal posso esperar para ser rei. I find particularly Disney songs, but all songs are very useful to help you remember these kind of things. So hopefully now you're never going to forget this is how you say, I can't wait. Mal posso esperar. So here he says, I can't wait to be king. Okay, so there's a good one. Another time where you might use mal is when you're saying, oh, I don't really know that person, or I hardly know that person. Okay, you would say mal conheço. Mal conheço. Mal conheço. I hardly know. Okay, so it's like the same type of thing as mal posso esperar. Mal conheço. So for example, rapaz, that's a Q, not a P, rapaz que mal conheço. A boy that I don't really know, that I hardly know. Okay, so that is another way of when we would use mal correctly. Okay, good. Hopefully Lion King has a Portuguese translation. Oh yes, it certainly does. I have a whole playlist on my channel of Disney songs in their European Portuguese version, and the funny thing is that actually the Brazilians and the Europeans completely do different translations. They have a completely different lyrics to the songs and completely different dubbing for the entire movie. So you'll be able to find Brazilian versions of Disney songs and European Portuguese versions of Disney songs. And I've actually got an exciting collaboration coming up with one of the Disney Portugal channels. So watch out for that if you like Disney. Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about was irregular plurals, because these also trip people up a lot, and they make a lot of mistakes around this. So I just wanted to look at a couple of them, and one of them is when words end in L. Yeah, this gets people every time. Okay. So if a word ends in L, for example, the word pastel. To make it plural, I have to take off this L, add IS, and if it's an E there, I add what's called a compensatory accent to make sure that I am keeping the right stress. Yeah? So pastel becomes pastéis, okay? Then, earlier on I was talking about blue eyes. The word azul when it goes into the plural becomes, who knows? Do, 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 do. I know it's on a bit of a delay, so I'm going to show you. Azwish. Okay, so azul becomes azwish in the plural. These are definitely really, really hard to get right, but let's do a couple more. So if it ends in an IL, we've got two options of what might happen. Well, just to make things even more complicated. So if something is fácil, it becomes fáceis. Fáceis. And I still need an accent there to keep the accent on the A. Fáceis. Okay, so you can see here, I've taken off the IL and I've added EIS. Okay, but sometimes if it's ending in an IL, we don't have the E. We just have, for example, gentil becomes gentish. Gentish. Okay, so that is the plural of gentil. One more, which I'm sure you see all the time, is when something ends in sound. So, for example, nação becomes what? It becomes nações. Okay, sound to sonhos. Nação, nações. Okay, that's a really, really pain in the bum one, but once you get that right, it follows quite a clear pattern. Anything ending in sal will become sonhos. Okay, there are a couple of really irregular ones. I'm going to test you and see if you know these ones. What happens when I have one cow? What is the plural of cow, which is dog? I have one cow, but I have two cães. I have two cães. One cow, two cães. Cow, dois cães. That is a really horrible, irregular one. Another one, the same applies to pão, bread. Pão. If I have two loaves of bread, they are pães. Pães. Okay, so remember those ones. Alright, let's see what else I have up my sleeve for you today. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about before I let you know my two exciting announcements is the difference between the preterite and the imperfect tense, because people ask me this all the time. They get very confused about when we would use the preterite and when we'd use the imperfect. So let's give you an example of each of them. So the preterite would be something like comprou. Comprou, he bought carro, for example. He bought a car. So this is the tense that we use when we take some action. Okay? This is something that happened in the past, didn't last very long, big bang happened, boom, finished, and it's over. That's what we use the preterite tense for. Then we have the imperfect tense. So, for example, if we use the same verb, we form it differently, and it would be, for example, comprava. Comprava. So this would mean used to buy, but the way I describe this is actually mostly going to be a describing tense. Okay? So when we do storytelling, whenever you're reading, for example, a book, and I highly recommend reading children's books because they're really great for learners, obviously because the vocabulary is more simple, it's less words, but you're going to see these two side by side. Now, actually, I do this with my students all the time, we read through stories and I get them to highlight preterite in blue and imperfect in red. And we can see the two side by side and actually talk about, well, why are we using preterite here and why are we using imperfect here? And the reason we use the two side by side in storytelling is because when we're describing what's going on in the background, we'll be using the imperfect. But when we talk about an action that happens in the story, that's when we use the preterite, and the two go side by side. So let's give you an example. Let me see. So, for example, I have here is, and you can see that I'm obsessed with Disney. A princesa estava a dormir quando o príncipe a beijou. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let me hold that up a bit higher. A princesa estava a dormir quando o príncipe a beijou. Okay, so here we have the preterite, and here we have the imperfect. The imperfect is describing what was going on. The princess was sleeping. The preterite gives us the action. He kissed her. That's what happened. Okay? Short, sharp, and over with. Okay? So, another one. It gives you the same. Okay. Another example of those two side by side would be quando ela saiu do castelo, estava a nevar. Quando ela saiu do castelo, estava a nevar. Okay? So here we have the impreterite, that doesn't exist, imperfect, which is describing what was happening. It was snowing. That's a description of what was going on. What was the action that took place? She left the castle. So here is the preterite talking about the action. Ela saiu do castelo, estava a nevar. Okay? So one describing the background and one describing the action that took place. Okay? So I like to think of them in that way, and I think that it really helps my students when we talk about it like that. So yeah, I would highly recommend actually Pingo Dos, the supermarket, which we can now all go back to finally. You'll still find queues, but yeah, the good news is if you're not in Portugal, if you're tuning in from elsewhere, we just came out of lockdown, and so we can now move a bit more freely around. So yeah, Pingo Dos actually has their own range of children's books, so they've like rewritten all of the classics and done like really short little picture books. So if you're in Portugal, I think they're about €3 each, and I would highly recommend buying those and giving them a go. Okay, so as promised, I'm going to give you my two exciting announcements before we finish up here, because we've only got 5 minutes left. So the first one is that when I started uploading my videos regularly a couple of months ago, I had 176 subscribers. And now, just over 2 months later, I'm just over 100 away from getting 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing, and I am so thankful, and I'm so glad that you all enjoy what I've been doing, and that I've provided some value to you in teaching European Portuguese, because I know that there isn't much out there, so I've hopefully been stepping into that void. So to celebrate this exciting milestone, I want to give away a free one-on-one class with me. So all you have to do to enter to win a free class with me online is to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done it. Only people who are subscribed will be able to win, and if you have already subscribed, I can hear you saying, oh, but I'm already subscribed, how do I win? That's fine. All you have to do if you're already subscribed is comment on this video and tell me what you would like to learn if you win the private class with me, okay? So that's 2 ways to win. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, leave a comment under this video about what you'd like to learn with me. So this competition will close on next Friday, not this Friday, the Friday after. And when this video goes up, if you're watching this on replay, just check the date of the video because it's only going to be live for a week. And yeah, if you're watching it on replay, all of the terms and conditions and information about it will be underneath in the description. So let me know who's going to be entering that in the chat box. And then the other thing I wanted to tell you is that I am now going to be launching the A2 part of my Portuguese Pro course, okay? So A1 is already coming to an end, and if you are watching this and you're in my A1 class, leave a comment and tell the others if you recommend them doing it as well. So yeah, A2 is about to launch. So I'm looking for people who want to learn with me live, who are at a beginner level, at like an A2 level, okay? So I'm only going to be opening up 10 spots for this. So I'm looking for people who are at the right level, obviously, who are kind of A1, A2 beginners, and also who are really dedicated in making a breakthrough in their Portuguese, who are like, yes, it's me, I'm ready, I want to finally make this breakthrough in Portuguese, okay? So those are the only 2 criteria to be at the right level and to be really motivated and dedicated to do this. So if you want to apply, the web link is here on the screen, right at the bottom there is talkthestreets.com/pro. You'll find an application form there, so all you have to do is fill that in and I will get in touch with you, okay? So it's really, really very exciting. I can't wait. I really, really enjoy teaching people and seeing the kind of transformation that they go through, particularly with, you know, their pronunciation and their confidence. It's just always really, really exciting to see. So if that sounds like you, I want you to get in touch. Go to that link, talkthestreets.com/pro. Fill out the form, and I can't wait to hear from you. As we're coming out of lockdown, summer's around the corner, the sun is out, it's going to be an absolutely amazing time to be here in Portugal, and I want to help you make the most of it, and you can do that from the comfort of your own home. But because it's a pilot course, I'm only taking 10 people so that we can really work hard together, and you can also kind of test out all my new material. And if you do join this class, you will actually get instant access to all of the A1 materials as well that have already been published. So I'm excited to hear from you. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you're going to be applying. And yeah, I hope you found this lesson useful. I hope you found the whole 6-week series useful. I'm going to be making it into a playlist and putting it on the channel, so if you missed any of them, then you can catch up with those. If you know anybody else who you think would benefit from these lessons, who you think needs a bit of help with their Portuguese, then please send this link over to them, and we can help keeping the Talk the Streets family growing. Yeah, I'm very excited to see who's going to be my 1000th subscriber. It's going to be cool. So I don't know when my next live lesson will be, but, well, unless you join the course, but my regular videos that I publish on Tuesdays will still be going live every single Tuesday, so I look forward to seeing you in the comment section there. You can keep asking me questions, keep requesting what it is you want me to cover. Those are all really, really helpful things, and I will make sure that I get back to you in the comment section of my other videos. So until then, até já. Muito obrigado por virem, muito obrigado por assistirem e até a próxima. Bom fim de semana para todos. Happy weekend, everybody. Ciao, ciao.